Welcome to Amy's Bookshelf Reviews podcast. I'm Amy Shannon, but you can call me Amy. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome. I hope all is well with you. I'm Amy, and today I'm talking about censorship and the right to read what you want and the right to write what you want. Banning books affects authors and readers, and it affects them because even an author whose book hasn't been banned, they are affected by the thought of what they put on paper. Someone may try to prevent someone else from reading it. And readers, they may want to be able to read certain books, but because of censorship or banning in their community, they are unable to find that book easily. Censorship is happening all over the world, and it's become a trend in the United States, with a few of the states very specifically, but without giving the name, have been focused on a lot of banning books. And a lot of the censorship is coming within the school systems, the public libraries, and they're coming under fire. Librarians are coming under fire because some people, especially in the school systems, it could be politicians, it could be parents, it could be both, where they want to decide not only what their child should read, which is perfectly fine. I mean, you're their parent, you decide what they should and shouldn't read. That's your decision. But you shouldn't make that decision for other parents. Maybe you have a parent that wants their child to read a specific book, but they have to go track it down somewhere in a place where it's not banned. Or a child that reads this book, maybe it's because the character in the book is not much different than the child themselves. Maybe they're in a situation and the book helps that child feel that they're not alone. I mean, if you think about it, there are potty training books and books that parents would read to their children, and it shows, it makes it so it's not such a task, and kids realize, oh, I'm not the only one that goes through this. This is, what other kids go through as well. I've created a short video episodic called Amy's Banned Book Buzz, where I discuss a banned book, read an excerpt, and give a commentary about why people should read the book and not disregard it. I read everything from classic books that were banned, and I also read books that have been written in the last few decades and even the last few years that should be read. I have a whole list of books that I still have to get through, plus I do have books for the authors who request it through Amy's Bookshelf Reviews, and you can always request a review by going to my website, so there's another plug there. Reading and writing, they're fundamental, and it's not up to one parent to decide for all parents who should be able to read a particular book. Many of the books being banned today have to do with the LGBTQ plus community, or those that are anti-racism related. We know that Black lives matter, and all lives do matter, as we are humans. We have families, and the families that we have are not the typical old school normal, so-called normal family with a mother, father, son, and daughter, maybe a dog, a cat, and something with a white picket fence. Our families are unique, and not all families are blood related. It's just the relationship between people that make up a family. We decide who our family is, and we live our lives the way we want to live our lives. We have our own faiths, we have our own beliefs, we have different ways that we love people, and that is what a family is. And personally, I believe that children should read books, even ones that relate to LGBTQ or anti-racism, because they may need to know that whoever or whatever they are not alone. And it also promotes literacy. I'm a big fan of getting children to read, and also those adults who have very limited reading skills to get help and learn how to read, because reading can take you places that you can't drive to, you can't fly to, you can't even walk to, and it brings you right into the middle of a story. Someone's grand imagination is telling you a story, and you are smack dab in the middle of fighting dragons, or picking flowers, or visiting the Ireland castles, or visiting a far-off planet that doesn't even exist, riding in a spaceship, riding in a gondola, whatever it takes, wherever the story takes you, can be pretty amazing. I also believe that everyone, and I mean every single person, should take the time to read children's books, as those books can be put life in perspective. Sometimes you're like, really, I forgot about this, Kids are innocent, and they have morals and beliefs and imagination, and sometimes we lose that, and we need to be reminded of what it is like to be a child, because when you look at your life, you are only a child for a very short time. The rest of your life, you're an adult. So it's not wrong to act like a child now and then, especially when you're so tired of being adulting. It's not always that fun. You need to be silly and weird and creative, and just be yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself. I read a lot of children's books, and when I believe more children should read it to make you think, I will say so. And more people should read it, because it's an important part. There is a place for hate, but it's not on this earth. I don't even know where that place would be. Our forefathers believed that we have freedom of speech, with a few minor exceptions, such as where words would incite violence, rioting, or danger to others, such as yelling fire in a crowded building, or things that have happened in recent history that I do not get into, because I do not discuss politics or religion with anyone. So, the next time you think a book should be banned, why don't you read it first and then decide? So, if you're an author who wants to be on the show, or you just want your book to be on the show, go to Amy's Bookshelf Reviews/podcast for more information. Thank you, and talk to you next week. This has been Amy's Bookshelf Reviews podcast. Thank you for listening. And always, be kind and stay safe. Thank you.